a couple of minutes. Yeah, they can answer all of these. It's such a small group. Move a little ahead of time.
Okay.
So it looks like, nope, not quite. You decide.
I think just about everybody is done, so you can, we're gonna go around in the circle, starting on one of the ends, and you can share some of your responses, whatever it is that you want to share from what you wrote on your paper about the practice today, as much or as little as you want to about any of the questions. And you know, we'll get to you if it comes to your turn and you don't want to take a turn right then, you can feel free to say pass. And then if you want us to come back to you, raise your hand and we'll come back so that everybody gets an opportunity to talk. So shall we start with you?
All three of them are.
You can do as much as you want, so whatever you feel like sharing. We'll get an opportunity, if you want to do that, we won't go back each question. So whatever at this turn that you want to share, since it's a small group, we can share probably as much as you want from your sheet.
Okay. I just found it hard not to drift out or fall asleep.
Yeah.
I did the eyes open thing, but my focus was actually on the carpet scene. It's easy to get back to it. As far as during the stretching, I guess I made up the answer and said, oh, when I stretched at the end, just notice the stiffness, but sitting during the practice, it was like, I didn't want to get too far forward because I feel like I'm sliding off, but if I'm too far back, then the chair edge would get uncomfortable on the back of the thighs.
Okay.
Thoughts or emotions? Yeah, just kind of dripped in and out, that was about it.
Yeah, so again, the mind wanders and we think about other things, which is all very natural and normal. And then we notice it and,
Right to the edge.
right, we bring the attention back again, which is exactly the practice. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
What was I aware of? I was aware of whether I was breathing like through my chest or my abdomen. And then what did I notice about my experiences? I notices if my thoughts started to wander so that I could be like, okay, bring it back and focus on breathing. So I could like try and catch them quicker before I would just be like, oh, I'm off in la la land.
Yes, exactly.
Before I went, oh, okay, bring it back. So I tried to
Yeah.
be more mindful, which is the purpose, right?
Right.
Yeah. And then what sensations did I notice? I noticed while sitting, I felt some stiffness in my neck. And then what particular thoughts or emotions? I remember thinking my body's getting stiff and stuff like that, and I just had to, I guess I kept trying to bring it back. I don't think I had any emotions in particular.
So just feeling some tightness and stiffness
Just
in
more
the
like
shoulders and the
physical
body.
sensations from
Yeah.
sitting.
Right, yeah, and sitting still. And,
Yeah.
and were you able to just direct attention to feeling stiff?
I tried not to because it was starting to feel really achy, and so I just tried to just keep coming back to the breath so that I didn't focus
Too
the
much on the
negative
achiness,
stuff.
right,
Yeah, so I try to
exactly.
just keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly,
So
and
that I
that, thank
didn't
you.
get caught up in that, because that's what you're telling us to do, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Exactly, so thank you for sharing that, because if there's like stiffness in the body, or I'm feeling achy, and, oh, achiness is happening, oh, this is really uncomfortable, back to the breath.
There was a couple times I had to stretch, but it was like, okay,
Right,
just
yeah, or,
refocus.
exactly,
It
thank
was
you.
like, I got to where it's like, okay, I need to move,
Yes,
but then I just tried to come right back to
yes.
where you had us. so.
Exactly. So again, noticing, oh, there's achiness and there's stiffness, I need to move. Is it wise to move? Oh yeah, if I move, I can relieve some of my pain, and then we become aware of what we're feeling, and then we can make some good decisions about what is going to be beneficial and be helpful. Yes, thank you for sharing that.
The main thing I was aware of, and what I noticed basically go hand in hand, is how peaceful the room was, how silent the lesson was, and I'm not gonna lie, over the past few times, it's been a bit hard for me to concentrate on stuff, but this time I didn't have any such issue. Physical sensations, nothing besides a need to clear my throat a little bit, and I didn't want to do that to interrupt the quiet. Didn't experience any particular thoughts.
So, but just noticing the sensations in the area of the throat.
I couldn't, I wandered off way far. And, I try to come back and think, but then I go, that's off. My hand started hurting, so that brought me back for a while.
Mhm.
So it was a difficult one for me tonight.
Yeah. And again, thank you for sharing that, because sometimes that's not an uncommon response, right? Particularly in sitting in stillness, really bringing attention to the body. Oftentimes when that happens, the mind goes all over the place, right? We start thinking about all kinds of things. Or when we feel a pain, we automatically, right, want to go think about something else because we don't like how that feels, right? And so again, just noticing that those are our kind of habits of reaction. We're going to be talking about habits later on tonight, right? And so this is not an uncommon way that human beings respond to stillness and pain in the body. We oftentimes do other things to try to get away from it. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
So it's a really calming experience after working in the world all day, and it's not like I usually have been in our sessions. I was kind of discombobulated, all these little discomforts, physical and mental, and memories of the last couple hours, and it's almost like I wasn't like really quite ready to do this calming exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
Right.
but since we, I thought about the whole week of doing exercises with mindfulness on unpleasant experiences,
Right.
and I felt this, mindfulness waving in and comfort waving in, kind of feathering in with the discomforts, and I just kind of marveled at it all, like, wow, this is it.
Yes, exactly. Thank you again, because what we're beginning to notice is that there's some sense of discomfort, and then when we bring attention to it, it changes, right? And then maybe there's some other area where there is comfort, and then that may change too, and right? Because moment to moment to moment, we begin to notice it. Even some of our sensations don't stay the same. They change over time, and there's comfort and discomfort, comfort and discomfort. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay, so what were you aware of during the sitting with awareness of breath and body practice? So of that question, it's a lot easier, I was just aware of more of the sensory issues with sound, and it's a lot easier for me to have the headphones in. I didn't have them because I didn't start with them, but I can actually hear my breath a lot more, and so that becomes really sort of rhythmic and sort of melodic to be able to actually hear the feedback of the breath when I have sound noise blockers. So I was aware of that, but I didn't want to rifle through my bag, so I just let it be. But then aware of like the agitation that sound can create,
Yes.
and all the sounds. So
Sorry about that.
this is totally not you at all. No, it's not even you. It's my world is just very sound oriented everywhere. So not anybody in particular. Just I can hear buzzing. I can hear the lights. That's everything. You know.
Sure.
So I just recognize how important it is to really, the importance of being able to, oh, I need to do this, be aware of that, the sound piece, because most of the time I'm not always aware of it until I walk into here because I bring my stuff. I'm like, oh, I need to put my headphones in. So I was aware of that. I was aware of how many visuals that I was having and trying to not go down the rabbit hole of the visuals of closing my eyes and being here and then being aware of like, oh, that's not where I'm at. I'm only in the place I'm in right now. Like I'm sitting on the red carpet, I'm in this room, I'm not in that place, and the recognition of the visuals that were happening of not being in this place. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then I found also it was really helpful to actually, to script it in my head around, you know, I'm only in this place. This is the place I'm at, to try to bring it back and have a familiar script.
Mhm. Yeah,
So I've been doing that.
no, that's very helpful. Yeah.
And then, I don't know about the visual sensations, I don't know. I have a question mark, like, I don't know, stretchy,
Yeah. Agitated? I
Yeah.
heard the word agitated.
Yeah,
So
probably.
feeling maybe some restlessness in the body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do I notice about the experience with thoughts and emotions? I think, in general, there's a lot of thoughts, and the recognition of emotion is more positive, negative. Like I narrate more around thoughts and experiences versus emotions. So just trying to connect the two was more like trying to bring that together,
Right.
more difficult.
Yeah. Yes.
And then being aware of, I think, like if my back was tense, to like, oh, I try to relax, you know, just trying to relax my body.
Yeah.
I think that is,
Yeah, so maybe, again, noticing agitation and tension,
yes.
and then what happens when we just let ourselves soften
Right.
and relax.
Yeah, and not being aware that that's building, you know,
Right.
always, and
Yeah.
then being like, trying to bring it back down.
That's right.
I have an awareness, a great awareness around the roller coaster feeling, that sort of feeling, but the stiffness not as aware of.
Yeah.
I mean, I was when this.
That's right, yeah. No, thank you for sharing that, yeah.
So you weren't bothered at all at the start by eating?
It's not any one thing in particular. It's just, it's not like anybody. It's like,
I was trying to do that quietly.
no, you're totally fine. I'm not at all, like, I have kids, so you're totally fine. I hear a lot of noises.
I thought it would have more time to eat, but the whole like sign in the front, it was confusing to drive in here.
Yeah.
You're totally fine. I get it. Food is important.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally fine.
Yeah, obviously I couldn't get into it at the start.
At the
because I was
beginning,
eating, But
sure.
I was trying to
Yeah.
get into the zone while also
Eating,
multitasking
yeah.
and eating.
Yeah, eating mindfully, yeah.
Food was good. Once I finished, then I got into it. At a certain point, after I really got into it, I could feel my heartbeat.
Mhm.
That was cool. Feel my limbs becoming a bit heavy. And after a bit, after I fully got into it and I felt my heartbeat, then my mind kind of like, I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I'll think about other things,
Right.
like shows and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, noticing some sensations in the body and then the mind wanders. Again, we notice, oh, I'm thinking about the TV show I watched or the movie I saw, and oh, back again. Right? Returning as soon as we become aware, just bringing the attention back. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I have a really hard time sitting still, and so I constantly change position a lot, because I think it runs in our family, I just can't sit still.
Yeah.
So that was kind of difficult for me, and
Mhm.
because I'm kind of tired, every time I close my eyes, I'm like, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep. So I'd open them and close them again, because it would wake my eyes back up.
Sure.
I think it happens every time we do kind of something. I get cold chills down my body. It doesn't have to be if the air conditioning's on or not, it happens.
Mhm.
And I notice it all the time, I'm like, why am I cold? I'm not actually cold, but I feel the shivers.
Okay.
And I am thinking about things at home, and I'm like, I don't need to be thinking about them right now. I can't do anything about them. So I'm like, I need to go back to thinking about class.
Right. Yeah. And again, so again, noticing that, oh, the mind has wandered to something that's happening at home, and back to just the breath or back to just the body. And so, so was there any discomfort with the invitation to just see what it felt like to sit in stillness?
I could do it for like a little bit, but then I'm
Yes.
like, I need to move again, and I'm like,
Yes.
so I end up was sitting straight, my feet flat, and then I crossed one, because I'm like, I can't, so I kept just changing how my position on my body, so I could.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. And so the practices, thank you again for sharing that, because that, again, is not that uncommon for anybody to sit, because most of us aren't accustomed to really sitting in stillness for a long period of time. So to just explore, what is it like to experience stillness? And when it becomes uncomfortable, you can move at any time, right? To just notice, oh, this is what discomfort feels like. And then move, right? So that we, and I'll connect this to some of what we're going to talk about later tonight, right? Because if we can begin to notice, oh, this is unpleasant, this is uncomfortable, but we have habits of reacting, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, this is unpleasant, pause. Now you can just make a decision.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is okay, or no, I think I need to move my back, or I need to, right? So yes, thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, I was aware of the steel calmness inside me. Also a slight sleepiness, not too much. Also, I was aware of the pale colors behind my closed eyes, and the colors slightly changing every so often. And also, I had the physical sensation of the chair, touching it all over,
Yeah.
and feeling how my clothes were.
Yeah, the sensation of touch, of clothes, and the chair.
And also I had a mixture of past memories while in stillness.
Sure. Yeah. So again, this is what the mind does, right? We bring attention to the breath or the body, and then all of a sudden we're having a bunch of memories about something. Oh, I notice I'm having memories. Let that go, bring the attention back. Excellent.
Also the discomfort of sitting still and trying not to scratch an itch.
Yes. Oh, that's absolutely. Itching often happens when we go to sit in stillness. Yeah. And again, just as I described, in this practice, what the purpose of the practice is to notice that itch. Oh, that's an itch. That's unpleasant. Right? Let that be, really say, oh yeah, this is what unpleasant feels like. And then scratch the itch if you need to, right? But to notice that pause between the way that we habitually react and, right, then making the decision to do something. Right? So, yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Well, this one's kind of fascinating for me. Because the class so far has aligned perfectly with my life. The first few weeks, like, everything's going really well. The last couple of weeks, things are like approaching catastrophic. And this particular exercise is excruciating for me. The breathing feels eternal compared to the body scans. The body scans are like, oh, that's kind of cool. This is all right. This breathing thing, when I'm at home, I have to keep checking my phone to see if the video is stopped because your pauses feel like hours. And yeah, I'm actually getting shaky. This is pushing me back to like 25 years ago with post-traumatic stress. So I think in the first question, one of the things I noticed, and I always notice, is how absolutely incredible loud clocks are. The clocks are the loudest thing
Clocks.
ever made.
And the crackling of the paper?
Clocks.
Oh, clocks.
And I've actually had a social gathering at a regular basis at somebody's house. And I just in passing mentioned it to somebody once. And every time I ever showed up at that house again, they took their clock down and put it in another room for me. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, the air conditioner, all that kind of stuff. The eating, honestly, honest to goodness, was actually a relief
Oh,
from the chaos
Yeah.
that is my world.
I was trying to eat quietly.
All I could think about was like, man, I hope that's really good. I really want, you know,
Was it?
I wonder what he's eating. Maybe I'll get that after class.
Taco Bell, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I hear everything, can't turn off anything. I don't close my eyes when I do this exercise, because by looking at something, that allows me to filter out all the visual chaos.
Yes.
Because when we did a study a couple of years ago at Barrows, one of my comments was, at any given time, there's 1,000 conversations going on in my head. Like, are you easily distracted? I think was the question. I'm like, what? That's the silliest question you could ever ask. But yeah, it's just yeah, I can't close my eyes when we do this because it turns on all the video feed that I'm able to turn off when my eyes are open. And you know, I don't know the alternative for sound. Maybe I'll try the earplugs or whatever. Yeah, the pain on the second question, the pain and nearly unbearable discomfort of stillness is as though my body at the smallest particle level of my physical being would explode at every point. Stillness is so incredibly painful. And I have I don't know if I have true claustrophobia, but I have something, an anxiety similar, but I don't get bothered by elevators, even when the elevator didn't work for them.
Yeah, the elevator was broken.
But I panic when I'm physically restricted, similar to I think what claustrophobia is. And so this has pushed me back to a shipboard fire 25 years ago that ended my Navy career 17 years early. And so that's why I'm shaking. I haven't gone back there in probably 15 years, but as far as the last question, particular thoughts, I'm in a constant state of cacophony in my mind. So having to be still. I love where my parents live in the mountains of New Mexico, but I hate to go there because it's so quiet. I have to turn everything on so that I can hear myself think over the noise that's in my head. And, let's see.
And the noise canceling earbuds
So-
would be good though.
Yeah, I mean, just more,
Yeah.
more thoughts than I can possibly identify, and especially the situation outside of here is my son, my youngest son. And so, every, if not all, I mean, most, if not all, emotions were felt in that. I don't know how long that was, you got the timer, but to me, it's felt like days or weeks we were doing that exercise. But in that moment, I know it probably went through every emotion.
Sure, sure.
So,
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Any time that, and this is thank you for being an example. Any time that something becomes really unworkable, right? So sitting in stillness, too much right now, right? Just override anything I'm saying and just come back to the attention to the breath. If you need to, stand up and do some mindful yoga, right? Stand up and do some mindful yoga. Do you see what I'm saying? So remember that the core part of the practice is to become aware that, oh, this is not workable for me. What can I do that would really be better for my well-being, right? So having said that, right, even just for a moment of noticing the difference between pain and emotional discomfort and emotional pain and how we react to it, and being able to pause long enough to make a wise decision about the best thing I need to do for myself. Right? And this is where this is exactly kind of what we're going to talk about later tonight. It's the difference between when we react out of habit and when we make conscious choices. Right?
Yeah.
And so being able to even notice that, oh, painful memories have arrived. Okay, I can't work with this. What do I need to do for my own care right now? Right, so having that pause enough to be able to make that mindful pause, to make that change. So thank you so much for sharing that.
And I don't think I would have known if I hadn't pushed through it.
Right, oh, exactly.
And 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to push through
Right.
this. I wouldn't have.
Right, yeah. And again, this similar practice will be, right, part of the video. So again, only working with this in the way that feels right for you. And we can chat some perhaps at the end of class if you'd like. Yeah.
I think something in the seat or the leg position made my feet feel a little bit numb, which is, well, actually resulted in a lot less discomfort than I usually experience. But also made me more bored than usual, and I was intensely sleepy, and to be honest, I really just got tired and bored of all the focus on the body, and I let my mind wander.
Yeah, so boredom, really noticing boredom, noticing mind wandering, noticing sleepiness, right, exactly. And again, one time we do a practice like this, we may just fall asleep and wander, and the next time we do a practice like this, we may have an entirely different experience of it. And so again, bringing that awareness to what is this experience like? What is this practice like? What is this moment? But for tonight, this experience was sleepiness and boredom and mind wandering.
I've been noticing
Thank you.
that really more and more, and so the only way that I've really been incorporating mindfulness into like my weekly activities is trying to do something once a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be 30 to 60 seconds. You know, I don't really have the tolerance for a long period of time because I just get so bored and I have other things I want to do. So it works out a lot better if it's shorter.
Right. So, and again, just as we've been saying, this is just a thought, if you care to. Just as we've been saying, well, just noticing, even for a moment, what does unpleasantness feel like trying to sit still, right? Even just for a moment, what does boredom What is boredom like? What is the actual experience of boredom? And then move the attention away if that's what's wise. But even just for a moment, just checking into the experience of boredom itself. That's really, remember, paying attention on purpose. Remember our beginning definition of mindfulness, paying attention on purpose to whatever we're experiencing in the present moment, pleasant or unpleasant, with some gentleness and care and non-judgment. Right? So even just for a moment. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah, usually I'm fine in silences, and usually I'm fine with the exercises we've been doing, but today I found out it was really hard to focus. So, yeah.
Yeah, lots of mind
And
wandering.
then I was like, well, I guess it's just gonna be uncomfortable, and I was trying to focus on the moment, and maybe that's not bad, it won't always be like this.
It-
So,
Thank you. Yes, it won't always be like this. Right? This moment will change, right? This may be unpleasant now, but it might not be unpleasant. If we watch it, if we bring attention to it, noticing how it changes over time. Thank you so much. Yes. I think it's time for a break.
Yeah, it's time for a break. Let me tell you, the bathrooms on the
I
landing.
love them.
Are they? Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the key. Okay, good, because I was gonna have you go on a maze through the department. So never mind. Let's take a break, take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back.
Well, what were you about to say about the bathrooms?
Well, they were locked when I got here, but Dr. Brady had
Just
key.
these ones, or like,
Huh?
just these ones, or-
Yeah,